If you're a Ravens fan that wanted Baltimore to make a blockbuster deal for Maxx Crosby, well, I'm going to be honest with you, you will probably be disappointed with what we've got to talk about on today's show because we've got some updates on those trade rumors coming from the NFL Combine yesterday. And then after that, we're going to give you all the news that we've gotten over the first 4 or 5 hours of the NFL Combine this morning. A couple of confirmed Ravens draft visits. We'll break down those prospects in the back half of today's show. But as for right now, the beginning, it seems like the dream might be dead, right? Everybody who wanted Maxx Crosby might be very, very disappointed because it seems like John Spytek might have killed those dreams and those rumors with his press conference yesterday. As you know, Tuesdays of the NFL Combine are reserved for most head coaches and general managers to speak to the media. And it did not take long for John Spytek to be up there at the podium and to get asked about his star edge rusher, Maxx Crosby. Now, the first question, or the first 8 seconds of this video we're about to play for you, it's a beat reporter asking if he expects Maxx Crosby to be with the team in 2026. And, well, here's his answer.
I am. Maxx is an elite player, and I've been very upfront from the start when I got here that, you know, we're in the business of having really good players on the team, and we need a lot more of them. And, you know, it's hard to build a great team without elite players.
What has been your communication like with Crosby the last month or so?
Maxx and I have a great relationship. He's in the building every day, getting healthy right now. We talk on the phone, we text. So I have a great relationship with Maxx.
So obviously things can change on a dime, but the fact that he did tell reporters yesterday that he does expect Maxx Crosby to remain with the Las Vegas Raiders, and he went on to say, look, we are in the business of getting as many good players on this team as possible, and Maxx Crosby is exactly that. Like, and I get it. Like, it's not gospel. This isn't the end-all, be-all. If you look at the press conferences last year from Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Brian Schottenheimer, they all said that they expected Micah Parsons to be with the team come September. Obviously, we know how that shaped out. So this isn't the end-all, be-all, but it's meaningful. And for a lot of us Baltimore Ravens fans, I thought Mad Maxx would be a perfect addition to this defensive line. It's seeming less and less likely as the days go on. Do you want Maxx Crosby to be a Raven? If you do me one big favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Like today's video. Cast your vote in that regard. Regardless of this situation and what John Spytek had to say about it, Maxx Crosby does have a very big say in what happens as well, right? John Spytek could say until he's blue in the face, we want Maxx Crosby to be on this team in 2026, but if he wants out, like, that's going to be a problem for Las Vegas because he has the ability to make that decision. Gage, you can push me across. He has the ability to request that trade, right? Maxx Crosby is the one that can look at John Spytek and say, I don't care what you want. I don't want to be here anymore because since I have been here, we have done nothing but lose. 6 head coaches he's had to go through since he was drafted in 2019. 9 starting quarterbacks. Fernando Mendoza, most likely, is going to be his 10th. A 46-71 overall record, only 1 playoff appearance, and 0 playoff wins. Spytek was asked about the trade rumors. He said, look, I learned a long time ago, always listen. I'm always listening. So he didn't necessarily shoot them down. He didn't say that they are non-existent, but he didn't say, you know, this is something that we are really working on. The problem when you talk about trading for Maxx Crosby is there are a lot of teams that are most likely going to be in the market to make that trade, right? Let's just say the Las Vegas Raiders do want to deal with Maxx Crosby. That's one piece of the puzzle. That's one piece of the pie. But the other piece is Baltimore being the team. And coming up in a second, we got some insider information from Jeremy Fowler at the NFL Scouting Combine, who pretty much puts it point blank. Baltimore Ravens are not at the top of that list. Okay, stick around for that, but real quick, answer down below. Would you trade for Maxx Crosby? Give me a yes or give me a no. Before we continue on with the video, here's what I'm looking to trade on Polymarket. For tonight's Texas A&M basketball game, Pauly Market is giving the Aggies a 24% chance to win against Arkansas, which is crazy. The value there is way too good. The Razorbacks have lost 5 out of their last 10 against A&M, including the last time these two teams faced off just a couple of weeks ago. And for those reasons, I'm taking Texas A&M at 24% to win this game. $100 wins you $416 if the Aggies take the dub. Plus, with Pauly Market, you can trade in and out on momentum shifts without getting blocked or penalized. With in-game trading, once the Aggies get up, I can either ride it all the way out or I could sell early. For example, if you buy at 24% and sell at just 50%, you can snag a cool $208 payout. I'm keeping an eye on the second half run as Arkansas ranks 273rd in the country, giving up 40.8 second half points per game. You can't do this with a traditional sports book, so get started today. Pauly Market is illegal in all 50 states. Download the app now to get to the top of the wait list. The only way to do that is by clicking my link in the description and comments. So like I told you all last week and a little bit yesterday as well, we've got boots on the ground at the NFL Scouting Combine. About 8 of my coworkers here at Chat Sports are in Indianapolis and will be for the entirety of this week. Well, we had one of our guys, Mitchell Rins, host of the Raiders Report, run into Jeremy Fowler at the Combine and asked him point blank, hey, talk to me about a Maxx Crosby trade. He slacked us yesterday and said, look, spoke to Jeremy Fowler at the Combine. He said without hesitation, if there is a team to make a trade for Maxx Crosby, it's the Chicago Bears. And so we talked about before the ad read, hey, look, you might want Maxx Crosby, but there are most likely going to be teams that A, want him more, and B, this is where the real sticking point is, in my opinion, are willing to give up more for him. Because we know that Eric DeCosta likes draft picks far too much. Those are things that EDC covets. And that's not just me speculating. That's not just, a guess on my part. Eric DeCosta will and has told you that before, straight to your face. He said, I look at the draft in many ways. And I have to say, it's a luck-driven process. If you have more picks, you're going to hit on more players. That goes back to the philosophy that I think Ozzie started back in 1996. We started really going after picks and trading back as much as we could in any given round. EDC says it right there, ladies and gentlemen. He likes draft picks. They try to get as many picks as possible. And what that means is they're not willing, most likely, to trade them away, even if it is for a massive blockbuster player. They like having as many dart throws as possible because what he's determined is it is a luck-driven process. My take right now, I think there's a 5% chance the Ravens make this trade. Okay, I don't think it is very likely at all. I'm not saying it's not likely in a sense that Maxx Crosby gets traded, but I do think it's unlikely he gets traded to the Ravens. What's that percent chance? Okay, I give it a 5. You let me know what you give it down below in the comment section. Scale it for me 1 to 100. Let's start talking about draft visits, ladies and gentlemen. We started off, or we will be starting off, with a pretty big prospect physically and just in a name value, and that is defensive tackle Peter Woods. Played his football with the Clemson Tigers. This is a guy we've actually discussed a decent bit over the last few months or so, but he had his moment at the podium today, said he met with the Baltimore Ravens, and actually had some really great things to say about the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I love the Ravens. I actually met with them yesterday and just got a chance to sit down with Coach Espo and Coach Mentor, and it meant a lot to me. Just I would say kind of like the same thing with the Jets, just very critical, just learning and getting better, learning ball, talking ball. But I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity to meet with them, and it meant a lot to me. Me and Nate, we talk pretty often, and he loves the culture up there. He loves the way that he gets coached hard every day, and that's something that I'm used to, coming from Clemson, being under Coach Eason and Coach Allen and Coach Sweeney. So it's something that, we have in common for sure.
So you heard him mention Nate Wiggins right there. Those two guys got recruited together at Clemson. They played ball together at Clemson as well. So it is cool that he's got a little bit of knowledge from the inside of things, how things work for the Baltimore Ravens. But from a drafting Peter Woods standpoint in the first round, I'll be honest with you, I would not love this at all. This is a guy who is one of those picks that's more on projection over production. And frankly, I don't really care for that too much. I mean, you look at what he did this last year, 30 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, only 2 sacks. And this is from a guy who is looked at as a pass rushing defensive tackle. Only 14 pressures in 12 games. He lost a ton of weight for his last year at Clemson, and he gets absolutely bullied and pushed around in the run game, snap after snap after snap. In my opinion, he is this year's Shamar Stewart. This is a guy that I would not want to touch with a 10-foot pole, that if Baltimore ended up drafting him, I would give that grade about a D+. If you spent the 14th overall pick on Peter Woods, I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I would not be happy. Name a player you want the Ravens to draft down below in the comment section. I don't want it to be Peter Woods, but let me know who you want it to be right now down below. Peter Woods was not the only guy that the Baltimore Ravens have met with today. This was announced by Devin Jackson that Josiah Trotter, son of former Eagle Jeremiah Trotter and younger brother of current Eagles linebacker Jeremiah Trotter Jr., 18 formal interviews with teams, one of them being the Baltimore Ravens. It's very, very interesting thinking about the linebacker position for Baltimore for the years to come, because you look at 2026, you got Roquan Smith. I think he is on the downhill trend of his career. Very, very big cap hit, very, very big salary. I think this is the last year that Roquan Smith plays football for the Baltimore Ravens. So, of course, you got to think about that for years beyond, 2027, 2028. Who is going to be your Mike linebacker? Do you want to find that guy in this year's draft? But then also Teddy Buchanan, who you drafted last year in the 4th round, who actually had a really, really good rookie year. He tore his ACL late in the year. So there's question marks in 2026, question marks in 2027. All of that to say, I do feel like linebacker is somewhere that they will go early on. And then, Gage, didn't we have one more late meeting come in? Or am I confusing it? Let me check our YouTube shorts to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, I think that's it. That's it. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Make sure you guys got me followed on socials, tweeting out these draft visits as they come in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn all those notifications on as well.